We can't see him because we optimize.
Hello, everyone. This is Lighting the Fire, where youth and temple family history consultants are going to share ideas that have been super successful for us. My name is Annie, and I am one of the youth temple and family history consultants here in Bluffdale 2nd Ward in Utah. We are so excited to share ideas that have been super successful in our ward with you guys.
Hi, I'm Ren. Thanks for choosing to watch our class.
I'm Ella, and thanks to RootsTech 2022 for asking us to present.
Hi, I'm Alyssa, and I love being a temple and family history consultant in our ward.
I'm Leah, and please make comments and ask questions if you would like.
I'm Abby, and I just want to say that we really have such an amazing family history centered ward. All of our members get the blessings and understand the concept of family history, and so we get a lot of support in our callings.
Hi, I'm Connor, and yeah, I agree 100% with Abby. Our ward is absolutely fantastic, and they're so supportive in every single activity we do.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tucker. We have a big ward, so a lot of our activities are planned and kind of targeted for different groups, and that works really well.
All right, hi, I'm Emily. I want to start the conversation about group activities, the ones that have worked really well for us. One of the activities I want to talk about is what we did with young men and young women and the seniors in our ward. We called it Fast Friendship. This is how it worked. We had a really nice evening for the ward members over the age of 60, and we served them dinner. Let's see.
That's annoying.
Yeah, and then after dinner, we met in the primary room, and we arranged rows of chairs, and they were facing each other, and we had the youth kind of ask family history questions, and we rotated through until each youth had chatted with all the seniors. And it was so fun, and it was super inspiring just to hear all the great stories and history that each senior had.
This was definitely one of my very, very favorite activities, and it really kind of started this fire for us, was this activity, because we realized that all of these seniors in our ward had such incredible stories that quite possibly were never recorded. It was really fascinating to learn where their lives had taken them and what they'd been through. And also, this is my little brother, Seth. He never really got introduced. So yeah, that's all.
So this was an amazing activity, and these kids just planned it, and seniors loved it. Share some things that they said about it. Okay, what happened after we asked them the questions and rotated around, and just had this one-on-one chat across the chairs, across from each other. What do you want to share?
I remember afterwards, one senior came up and told our ward mission leader that this was like one of the most significant things he had done in years. He couldn't get over it. He was like the youth actually care about me, and they care about my life, and people want to hear what I've been through. And he made a connection with us, which was so cool.
That is so great. So what kind of questions, and where do you find questions to ask? What did we do? Let's see, Em, you were going to talk about the 52 stories. Can you hear okay, guys?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we had the 52 stories project, and it is great. So they're just printable pages on all sorts of topics. But like Tucker said, you can make up your own. Once you start up a conversation, questions come naturally. So yeah, I talked to a lady. I'm really into horses, And I found out that my next door neighbor is like a huge barrel racer, like world championship. And so it was awesome to talk to her and learn more about her story. So yeah.
So awesome.
And I would also like to add that you can do this for any combination of age groups, and depending on how old they are, you could do it for like primary kids, and you could like change up the questions a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, such a great idea, right? And Ella, were you going to talk about, what was it like after we had this and you went into the halls of the church and you saw these people, these seniors that, maybe you'd never even like done anything but wave to before, and now you knew them. So what was that like, Ella? What do you want to say about that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, after every single Sunday at church, we'd walk past and I could know something about their history that I would have no idea before, and we could have a connection bigger than just that wave that you were saying, and they could feel more welcomed in the ward with the young people. It was awesome.
Absolutely. Anybody want to say anything else about it before we move on? All right, back to you, Annie.
It was just awesome. And I think, like I said earlier, it was really a Kickstarter of a lot of other activities. This kind of seemed to be the first thing that we all did, and it connected us to so many people, and we realized how wonderful it felt to be connected to each other and learn of these stories. But after this and hearing so many stories, we realized that we needed to save their stories for their families, and so many of them did not have the resources or knowledge to do that. So before it was too late, we kind of decided to take a hold of this opportunity of being friends with these people now. And I'll turn it to Tucker to kind of talk about how we did that.
Yeah, so we ended up deciding on doing kind of a youth-sponsored breakfast for all the seniors. It was on Saturday. And so we had a really nice breakfast for them. And then after that, we took them into separate different classrooms. And we had either a pair of youth or one youth go in and interview them. And we just recorded them, recorded their stories on the family history app. And yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, the Memories app works so well and it's so easy, right?
Yeah, I remember from this specific activity, this is like what really got me into being super excited about connecting with the seniors. And Annie and I got to interview this super cute couple in our ward. And we were just sitting out in the foyer of the church, and we had like our little Memories app on our phone, and we were just sitting there laughing with them, talking about their childhoods and different things that they had been through. And we were sitting there laughing. And so on our like recordings, we had both of their laughs and some funny stories that they told from when they were younger. And afterwards, shortly after this activity, they actually got in a car crash, and the wife, her name's Gloria, she ended up passing away. And so it was super special because Annie and I were able to give those recordings to their family that they were able to have and to listen to of stories that they've probably never heard from their grandparents and from their parents of their childhood and growing up, and like just to hear their laugh once they were gone. So that was really impactful to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very special to experience that, especially with Gloria. And now Denny has the chance to listen to those recordings that we made, and like Abby said, have her voice and have them talking to each other again. And it's very sweet, but it was very tender for Abby and I because it was a very funny story that she told us. She told us about something along the lines of forgetting pants on her way to school. And we were just laughing and laughing. And in her last few months of life, previous to that, I didn't really know her very well. I knew her name and where she lived, but not any stories or anything like that. So having that inside joke together, we shared a lot of laughs in her last few months of life. And it was really special for me to have that connection because it would have kind of hurt if she had passed away without me ever connecting with her at all.
Yes.
So it was very a neat opportunity.
And they're such an iconic couple from Bluffdale. So we have, we'll just play part of this little video of Denny telling us his poem about our city. If it'll play.
It says you need to click, you need permission to view this video up there.
Request access?
It just says request access, but I guess where okay. Maybe just need to log in again.
I just want to say while we pull up the video that through this activity, I think it also helped us youth become a lot more united with each other, and just realizing that like our ward family really is a family, and that we all can trust each other, and that we all can be each other's friends no matter what our ages. So
some of the questions that are being asked in the chat as well, maybe you guys can answer them. One of them is, what were the questions that you guys asked the seniors? What are some of the ideas of questions that could be asked?
I think some of the questions were pretty basic, just like what were some funny memories from your childhood, or what was like your biggest accomplishment in life? Just basically any questions that would get them talking about their lives, and they don't even have to be that complex, can just be really simple conversation starters.
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. And Emily brought that up earlier, but we use the 52 Stories project, which can be found on Family Search, and it just has 52 prompts of wonderful stories and questions that will spark stories, which was super useful. And some of them were very funny, some of them very sweet, tender. It was just well-rounded, and they all loved it.
So we couldn't get the video to play for some reason, but it's the sweetest poem, all about how the meadowlarks sing in Bluffdale, and everything's just perfect, and everyone owns a pig, and everyone's doing farming, and it's just the sweetest thing, because like we said, this couple has lived in our little town for a long time, and to get to know them like that, and to have our youth get to know them and partake of their spirit, especially before it's too late. So yes, video and audio, and get these stories down, right, kids? So let's see, Emily, you and your sister got to, we can't quite hear you.
Yeah. So me and my sister, we interviewed our favorite Grandma Jan. She is the absolute best, so funny. And basically our whole ward calls her Grandma Jan, which is great. But we were looking through our tree, and we found out that we are actually related. It's through marriage, but we are related, and so it's even better when we call her Grandma Jan.
True enough.
Many seniors are like usually afraid of computers, I feel like, and don't know how to use the Family Search app, or the Family Search Memories app to record their own stories. So that is like, this is a great way that we can help them, and yeah, I just love that we're able to help them record all their memories and stuff.
Okay.
And as you see in this picture, the guy on the left is actually my brother, and he was interviewing this couple on Seniors Couples Night in our ward. And as you may have guessed, they were telling their love story and how they met. As it turns out, they really bonded together during that chat, because it's so cool that these two served in the same mission in Samoa. And not too long after this interview, my brother was called to Samoa on his mission. And it's just a really cool picture, and it means a lot to me.
It's so true. Our brother, again, visited them a few times, just excited to hear all he could about his mission, and they got him so excited, and my brother just adored his mission because they really helped him feel connected and excited to serve there. There are so many ways to bring out stories and memories to help people feel loved and cared about. I think it's one of the most crucial and simple things that we can do as youth, especially. And another thing we did is called A Night to Remember. Who of you youth would like to talk first about this night?
I would. I'm Tommy. Hi. And this was one of the best activities. It was so fun, and the food was so good, and everything was so like professional and looked awesome.
Yeah,
No
so
kidding.
a little background about this activity. We called it A Night to Remember. We made these awesome, cute flyers and sent them out to all the seniors. So we provided a dinner for them, much like the breakfast, and we all sat around and ate dinner together, and it just helped them feel remembered by remembering their own lives, and it was fun to plan, and we did a cute theme, and everybody looked so cute, and it was so fun.
so fun. It was amazing. You outdid yourselves on this one, you youth. Look how cute you are. Yep. Yep. We happen to have all these aprons, so it worked great. And they felt so special when you served them and took care of them. Yeah, Connor, what was it like for you? What do you want to say about this?
Honestly, my favorite part of the whole night was just being able to kind of experience a little bit more of it. It was a more theatrical take on the 50s night, but just a little bit of kind of what they would like to do. And it was, of course, it's always just so fun to serve the seniors in an award.
And during the night, we had them we had these forms for them to fill out with their names, dates, events, or any special parts of their life, and we put it on a timeline, and that was really cool to see what was going on in all of their lives, if some of the same things happened to them at the same time or stuff like that.
And it was really cool because me and Alyssa just moved into the ward. This was one of our first activities, and it was really good to meet all the seniors in our ward and get to know everybody better. It was really fun activity for one of your first ones. So
yeah, and we got to meet a lot of the ward doing this too. So it was a really fun activity.
No kidding.
It was
go ahead.
Fun. Oh, sorry, but it was super fun how they kind of tell you that you had a paper and you bring it up, put it on the timeline, and it's spanned across the entire stage, and it was great.
Yeah, the purpose of this Zoom and the point we're trying to get at is that we can have activities and you can just incorporate simple things that will make them a family history event as well. So all of these events are bringing up, we're showing you how to make things you might already be doing into family history, like asking questions and listening to stories. When you're just being friends and talking to them, maybe you hit record and then all of a sudden you've made it into a family history event. And having dinner with them, talking to them, but then putting the things you're talking about on a timeline. And then we had this super long timeline that spanned our entire stage, having tons of events of so many people in our wards. It was just super cool to learn all these things. It was super exciting.
Something that I remember from it is that it was just so cool just to see everyone just talking with each other and just connecting with each other, because it was just such a calm and relaxed environment, and not so much as sitting in front of a computer and looking up names of your family, which is awesome. But there really is so much more to family history than just sitting in front of a computer and just making connections with people, which I just found really fascinating during this activity.
Mm-hmm.
Another amazing thing about this activity was that since my brother was able to attend, he went on a mission a few months ago, and he was able to do this amazing activity with his ward in Colombia, and he loved it and talked about it to us on a call, and it was super awesome.
He said how it united his zone, and he got to learn a lot more about the people and feel more connected to them as well.
And Rand, what about that invitation there?
Oh yeah, he made an invitation because he learned how to do it with the activity, and he made it in Spanish, and it was super cool for our family to translate it. We use this app, and it was super cool to see that he was able to make that.
And he'd only been there how long, Ella?
He's been there since October.
Uh-huh. And he was 3 weeks out when he did this activity, right?
Yeah, he was a newbie.
Yeah.
Also, as part of the event in our ward, we wanted to remember those in our ward who had passed on. And so, we did the photo display by asking ward members to bring a photo of people who have passed on. And by remembering them, it helps us bring us closer to them. And we called it our ofrenda, which I loved. It was so amazing, and it taught me how, I just loved seeing how much their families love talking to us about them. They love them so much.
Yeah, it was super cool because actually my own grandma got to be on the ofrenda, and it was super cool to just have her be there and be there spiritually, and to still be a part of the ward, and that we can still remember her and involve her in all the family history that we are still doing.
We
Guys,
truly do stand on the shoulders of giants, don't we?
there are a couple of questions here from the people that are watching about this activity specifically. Some people are asking, how did you come up with all these ideas? When you thought of it, how did you, turn it into reality? And also, did you tell the seniors that they would have to answer these questions beforehand, before they came to the activity? How did you guys plan that?
I think when we were planning the different themes, I think it helped a lot to have the youth plan them, just because like we're just kind of crazy already and always kind of wild. And I think that just made it fun, not only for the youth, but also for the seniors, just to kind of feel like little kids again, to go back during their teenage lives. So I think it just helps a lot to have like younger generations help make it lively and fun, not only for them, but also for the seniors. So I think that helps a lot just with planning.
And with them knowing or not if they were going to be asked questions, I think we didn't really tell them that we were going to be like stories and recording. That wasn't really it. It was just like, come interact with youth. We want you to come party with us, But then once we were there, we certainly asked permission before we recorded. But I've never met a senior that wasn't willing to tell stories about their life or be so excited to talk to. So I don't think we've ever had problems with a senior being like, whoa, what are you doing? And if they were, like, surely we would just let them eat their food and still be their friend. But all the seniors, I think it really, really made them feel so, so special to be asked about their life and so interested in. And they, especially for widows, for example, if they spend all their days alone, just to have somebody look into their eyes and talk to them was really, really special. So, yeah.
Did that answer the question enough?
We'll come back to how they got planned in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so Tucker.
Yeah, so just another idea that our stake had. Kind of the youth and leaders kind of got together and planned this. We called it the Blufftail Battalion Boot Camp. And so those youth and leaders got together and set up certain booths kind of from each ward. And everyone that attended got to do each of the booths at least once. It was kind of like a carnival kind of a thing. And so we have this video, and as we watch, kind of realize, kind of look out for, we had the spirit prison that was super cool, and kind of see that how they were put in spirit prison, how they were let out.
Kind of watch for all the activities, the varied activities that we did. Okay, that gives us a little flavor, right? So what kind of things did you pick out from that, maybe just share a few things that the booths were, and each ward did a booth, right, Tucker? And then we just rotated around.
Yeah, each ward was in charge of a booth, and we had different ones. Some of them focused more on family history. We had one for indexing, and some of them were just kind of fun, kind of break activities. Like we had a, I don't know, I'll let other people share kind of what those activities were.
Yeah, Yeah, so we had tons of activities. It was, as you could see, there was like, it was a boot camp. So there were people doing push-ups, we had competitions, tons of fun stuff. But every single time that you completed a station or did, let's see, when we did indexing, we got a ticket and we could go and get someone out of the spirit prison, which was so fun.
Yeah, and I remember coming home from this activity, and I was kind of younger. I was just like barely into Young Women's, and I like finally realized that like indexing like actually did something. Like it just created such a cool like image in my head of like getting people out of spirit prison. Like that was just such a fun like light of the fire for me of like, okay, like this will actually do something to someone else. And it helped me realize like while doing, you can see here in this picture where we got to talk to some of the older seniors in the different wards, and it just helped me realize that like everyone has a story, and even those who have passed on, like they were real people and they had real lives. And I don't know if you realized in the video, but we tasted some crazy food from different places, and that just made it even more fun to realize that there's people from everywhere around the world that were related to, and that they had real stories and that they went through hard things. And it was just such a fun activity to be able to connect with them.
I think overall this activity was super important because it taught the youth in specific that it is not so foreign and scary as it might seem, that we did so many things, just like learning to record stories on Family Search and signing the youth battalion flag that you were going to commit to being a part of this gathering that we were a part of, and viewing videos on how your family was involved in family history and signing into your own family history account. Simple things that really allowed our youth in our stake to like understand what it is, because something I always think about in regards to family history is that so often do people view it as something that is so scary, like, oh, I'm sitting in front of a computer for 10 hours and then I did family history, or just feeling like they have no idea how to start or how to do it. And then they came here and realized that it was indexing and that it was talking to each other and that it was exploring cultures that you're related to, like Abby said. And it was just super important to see this fire lit not only in our ward as consultants, but our whole stake felt it after this activity.
That's right. Who wants to? Oh, go ahead.
One thing about this activity that I think made it really work and got us all involved was all the different booths, and there was something for everyone. If you didn't love the indexing, you could go and do something else. There's so many opportunities for everyone to get involved. I know for my two older brothers, Eric and Cole, they loved the foods table. They spent pretty much all their time there trying all the foods, and they loved to share when they were talking about it when we got home, and they were like, this was good, this was so gross, I hated this was great. And I think that everybody could get involved in some way that they liked. So that was a cool idea, that we could just get everyone involved by doing lots of different things.
That's right. Anybody want to talk about the escape room really quickly? Maybe you didn't hear me. Anyway, the escape room, who wants to say something about how cool that was? I can tell that we're looking at. Okay.
We can both talk about it, Ella. But I remember, like, I don't know why during this time I like loved mysteries. Just like walking into this room and being told like we're gonna do like we have to do an escape room, like using family history. I was like, this is gonna be epic, and I was so excited, and it was so fun like to work together. And like we did an escape room about like real people and about their life. And I don't know if you saw in the video, but we had like keys stuck behind like pictures in the different rooms just of the church. And I know the leaders put a ton of work into this just to get cool props and the cool setup and just getting people to come in and share their story with us. And I think it just helped the youth like just be alive and to have fun with it, and to realize that like it is fun and it is adventurous.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we had another one.
I think the fun part, just briefly, is that the kids would go in, look for clues all over the place and try to find out who it was about in the story. And then suddenly they would sit down and the real life person would walk in and start talking to them that they had just spent time discovering clues about them. And amazing to have these great heroes all of them World War II veterans. This man right here is a World War II vet. And to tell their stories in front of the kids was amazing for them and for the youth.
So many
I
ideas.
Also just wanted to say that during this activity it was so fun to like find the clues and find things about the other people, because like, and I feel like that's how it is with family history too, like, or like the real, like when you're on the page and stuff and like you can find stuff about your family and stuff, and it's so fun to like know that like it goes along with that too.
Awesome. Yep, that was so fun. Let's do one more quick.
We have kind of focused on how we connected to the elderly in our stake and ward, and I mean also each other as youth. We've come a lot closer as youth in a ward as we meet together, but also it has connected us to the spirit of Elijah for one, but also to our leaders, that through this in specific, we were able to get to know our stake president, President Giz, a lot better, and it was super awesome. Seth, do you remember the story you told about? You wanna
Yeah,
talk about that?
I do. It is super fun. Well, we were and we saw the engagement ring, and it was supposed to be lost in the lake, and it was a big thing, and it was super fun. Yeah, I don't know how to say things about it.
He had told us a really funny story about when he proposed to his wife. He pretended that he had lost it in the lake, and she totally believed him, and they were super stressed and worried, and she was like almost crying and stuff, and then he actually had the ring. So he told us all that, and now we had this super funny story, and he became more than just a church leader, because that's all we really knew of him, right? And then we realized he had a family and a love story and was silly, and it was just super funny, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and these pictures here are actually of an activity that we did last year for youth conference, and I actually had the super fun privilege to be able to help plan it. And I'm all about the atmosphere and just creating a space to feel like you're actually there and living like their time. So we came up with this idea to do grandma's attic, and we had like cute little grandmas come in to these rooms that we decked out, and they like gave us little treats of like fruit snacks when we would like find one of the clues. And like Annie was saying, like we just got to have clues of like their past and their real life, that helped like with this whole activity. But afterwards they would like tell us stories about them, and it helped us come closer to like our stake president and to our other stakes, and just to work together as a ward. And it was just so fun. And it just like, again, it just helps create like this environment that family history is so cool, and that people are real, and that people have lives, and that like just talking to people and creating that relationship helps so much in your relationship with them.
Yeah, this was a cool activity, and it can be done with your ward group or even just your family. It could be altered to many different things.
And sometimes planning an entire activity on family history, like what we've talked about so far, is super fun. But we also can find other ways, and it's super easy to find different family history activities that you can do, like adding on to different activities that you do as a ward to give like a different family history twist, like we did in here, if Connor wants to talk about it.
Connor, are you there? He might have his mic muted.
You hear me?
Now we can.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Sorry. So this activity was our Christmas activity, and every year we have an annual Christmas breakfast with the whole ward. But this year we wanted to add a little bit of a twist on it. So we brought some family history aspects into the breakfast. And so all the family history consultants were wearing these donut hats, I think it was. And we told everyone in the ward to bring some kind of story or memory about like their favorite Christmas. And so the family history consultants would go around, and whenever people would have something to share, they'd write it down, and then we go and put it on the board. And then all of a sudden we had this huge board of everyone's favorite family, like Christmas activities.
Okay, so that's a lot of activities right there. Is everybody okay? But we do have more activities for you guys.
We're not done. They're not done.
Nope. And you can find a lot more activities for both your ward and your stake at the website, at the free website, the Family History Guide. You can just type that into your browser and then go to Youth tab. And the last item is Latter-day Saints. And when you click on that, you'll see ward and stake activities. Yeah, and these are a great way to help light the family history fire in your ward. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Maybe quickly some hints. So under the video on RootsTech, you will find some downloadable resources, so some PDFs and something like that. And as well as they said, just visit that homepage and you'll find many more activities. Maybe youth, one more question. What was your favorite activity? If you would have to choose only one, was that too tough?
That is a pretty rough question. I know for me, I just love the escape rooms, as you could probably guess. It just like made it just so fun and just lively. And like Scott was saying, to have like the real life person walk in and just to realize like, whoa, like they went through all of that. Like this was their ring and like this was like their experience with it. And like, I'm going through the same thing. And it was just so cool. I will always remember that.
I think my favorite one was probably the Night to Remember, the senior dinner. That was just so fun because like I got to be like so connected to all the other people in the ward, and like it was so fun to like help them and like be able to share their stories, and that was really fun.
Yeah, cool. Maybe one more.
I'll quickly share
Daniel,
my favorite.
maybe. Oh, go ahead.
You're good. I think my favorite is probably the fast friendship when we asked all the questions, because that really started it for us on how simple and also how important it was. And I'll just quickly say I was able to interview a man in our ward named Ferris, who was a World War II vet, a naval veteran, and he had stories that never left his lips of 3 years on a naval ship and crazy stories. And we were able to record those before he most recently passed away. And it really taught me how important it is to have these stories recorded and give those stories to families of these people in our ward.
Yes, thanks so much for sharing those. So we this little slide here is something that we did when the primary, it was COVID. They couldn't see their friends, all these little kids. So they planned to drive around our ward and everybody was putting up a poster or something to just wave and tell them they were loved. But this particular family decided to turn that activity into a family history activity and had a guessing game to see if anybody knew who these longtime members of the ward were. And so that was just fun. I mean, these kids, I just have to say that these youth are amazing at coming up with ways to turn anything into a family history activity. And, you know, people might ask, how do they do this? And so maybe we'll just go there now for a minute and start with Leah. And we kind of have to move along, but let's just talk about a little bit how we do plan activities and work together. And just talk about these campaigns in like 5 minutes. Let's do it.
Okay. So we, so what we did so we have family history consultants and obviously, and we meet together every Sunday, most Sundays. And me and my dad, when he was a family history leader, we had this campaign to sign everybody up in our ward for family search account, and to also get their 4 generations completed and just kind of see where everybody was. We sent out a flyer to show you, to ask questions about who has this done, do you have a family search account? And we just wanted to get the basics into everybody. And so we created this bulletin board in our church building to help everybody help their steps to how to sign up, how to get your 400 generations, and just help you out, I guess.
Yes. Anything else on that, Alyssa?
Yeah, so I think this was just a really good idea, and every single member, most of them in our ward began to you could see how they were progressing in family history, definitely, and all our work definitely paid off, and it was a great visual, and we haven't even taken that bulletin board down yet, and it's been up there for quite a while, but I think it's a great bulletin board, and all the members on all of the wards in the building are able to see it when they pass by. So it's not just our ward, it's all the people that go to our same building get to see this. And I think it's a great idea, and it's very productive, and it's easy to use and stuff like that. So I think it's great.
So yeah, that was the first campaign. So what was the next one that we did?
Yeah, so with the poster, it's so nice, even if you're not some family history genius, or if you're just starting out or barely have heard about it, there's something that everyone can do. And so that's what we did with the next thing. Our next campaign was just encouraging members to start recording their stories and preserve them on Family Search, which was so fun. And so, yeah, Abby?
I just know that this campaign of recording stories was so successful because previous to this, we had already been doing activities to get to know the seniors in our ward. And so they were just super comfortable around us, and it wasn't really awkward at all. And they were willing to answer different questions for us. And I also know that with recording stories at home, that one thing that Angel did was she put a personal family history question on the weekly Relief Society email for our ward, and she did that for a whole year just to give an idea to those of what you could write about at home and what you could ask your grandma, your mom, or your dad, or just whoever you wanted to get their story written down as well.
Yeah, so Tommy, talk about this one a minute.
Okay, so I had a super fun
We can't hear you very well, Tommy.
Oh, sorry. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, so I got to interview our bishop. It was super fun. He just told me about what he did when he was younger, what he did after school, and all that fun stuff. And I was there for about an hour or so. And he had this awesome big safe that he had in his living room, and he opened it up, and there was this big rifle that he got from his dad. And yeah, it was just super fun to hear all of his stories that he had to tell.
Like I previously brought up, this is the World War II veteran that I was able to record, and I asked his permission to share his story, and the whole ward was able to see this and read it. So one way we connect as a ward is we have an Instagram where we post about actively of stories and activities that we are doing, which really helps everybody to feel involved and even get invitations, which is really exciting, and it's so uniting.
Yeah, so that was that campaign, and then what was our last one we want to share?
Can I go?
Yeah.
So I believe you're talking about the 21-day challenge. And I'm so excited to talk about this one because personally, this was one of my favorites. So we had 21 days. I mean, we were what did we say? Yeah, I think it's 21 days to start a habit or something like that. And so we decided to do 21 days, and basically just 5 minutes every day, you try to get in some family history, whether it be indexing or something I don't know, giving cookies to someone, just gathering Israel. And we post about it on our ward's family history account on Instagram. And so we could all check up on each other, see how we're doing, get ideas. And it was really awesome.
So Renanella, want to talk about this little picture?
Yes. So We were a part of the 21-day challenge and we loved it. The 21-day challenge is a great way to get everyone involved and to make people realize that it's not a big, huge hassle to do family history, and that you can literally just spend 5 minutes a day and it'll make an impact on your life. So, Ren.
Yeah, so we did this thing we like to call Pioneer Pizza. We ordered pizza, and then while we ate it, our dad told us many little stories about pioneers that we were related to. It was so cool because as we had delicious pizza, we could just learn and do the 21-day challenge. It was a super great idea.
Yeah, and just going back to like the pizza is just to put like a little, I don't know how to say this, but like just make it a little bit more fun, and maybe for even the little kids, just adding a little something and involving family history is a good idea. So that's why we incorporated the pizza.
Yeah, so during this 21-day challenge, our young men, we went on a camp out. And so to try and keep the 21 days going, we actually had quick 5-minute activities on our camp out. And we had one of our leaders, Tucker's dad, tell us some fun stories about that. And you got anything else about that, Tucker?
Yeah, actually, this was a story that I actually never heard him tell. He just never had a chance to tell it. So when we started asking him about stuff, he came up with this great story about his grandfather, so my great-grandfather, who was a mission companion, part of the P. Pratt, and it was just super cool. And we had a couple other people there share stories, and it was just a super cool experience.
This is one thing I did during the 21 days. This is my little tiny cousin Adelaide, and we pulled out some memory books and we went through, and I answered her questions, and she would say, who's this, and I would tell her. And it's so sweet because you realize that she wasn't alive for a lot of things. She wasn't alive when I was baptized, and she wasn't alive when this person got married. So it was really sweet to just spend 5 minutes, eat a popsicle, and tell her stories and connect with Adelaide while connecting with our family. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we have a picture of it, but we recently just did the 21-day challenge, and during it, I just one Sunday coming home from church, I just pulled out one of my dad's books when he was little, and I started flipping through. I was kind of like Adelaide, like the little 5-year-old, of just like, Dad, who's this? And he told me stories of his grandma, my great grandma, and I later learned that she was one of like the first woman to ever really play sports, and I love playing sports. And around that same time, I had volleyball tryouts coming up for the high school, and I was super nervous. And my dad gave me a blessing me that my ancestors would be with me. And throughout that entire tryout, I could feel my great grandma with me the entire time, but I probably wouldn't have really made that connection with her unless I asked my dad those questions. So.
You.
I have another story. Oh, yeah. I have another story to share. It was on day 14. So there was a really sweet member of our ward, Anita, and she wrote about her dad being a convert from a family of Baptists. And as far as her mom ever knew, she was the first active member in the family where she believed there was maybe a member on her grandmother's side. She received a notice from family history and normally didn't take time to look at it because she had a lot going on. I'm guilty of that too. But because she was in the middle of the 21-day challenge, she looked, and because she did, she found her 4-year-old ancestor who had made the trek to Salt Lake City by handcart. Her father was close boyhood friends to Joseph Smith, and he was a nephew to Martin Harris. So just like crazy stuff that she learned, and all in her own family. And then it was noted that Martin drifted away from the church for a while. Dennison, the 4-year-old father's father and his family remained faithful to Joseph Smith and the gospel. She said that all my life she wished for a pioneer heritage, and she finally found it. In the photo, her ancestor who made the trek as a 4-year-old is the beautiful lady standing in the center on the back row.
And I just love how that, because she was doing the challenge and trying to do 5 minutes, she actually looked at that notification that came, and all of this happened because of that. So the 21 day is so motivational. And we have, so we have a slide. Go on and just, one more. So if you want to find out where some of these 5-minute activities are that we've been sharing with you, one more, you just go to the Family History Guide and go to Activities, Family, and then number 9 is a whole list of 50, 60, I don't know how many, just activities that you may not have thought about doing that you can just stick in there. So, yeah, who wants to start talking about this one? Annie?
Just our get-togethers. I think this is something that keeps us so consistent and so successful as our 5-minute, not 5 minutes, but weekly get-togethers that we do just right after church every Sunday. And we can get trained and we plan things and we always have snacks and we always are laughing with each other. And it's so crucial because this consistency allows for us to always have it in our mind, and we're always coming up with ideas and we're always ready for what's next and excited about it, because every week we spend just 15 to 30 minutes after church talking about family history and our ideas around it, which is super important.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just go to these meetings for the treats. Just kidding. What they teach there is super great, and if you want to start doing these weekly Sunday things and you're struggling to get youth to come, bringing yummy treats is a great way to do that.
Thanks, Ren.
Yeah, it's super. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's super fun to learn from like the leaders, and they always have super fun like stories to tell, and it's super fun.
And we always get a new crowd each week, and it's super fun to like talk to other people who have different questions. It's kind of just like an open house, and it's really fun to teach others and learn from others. And yeah.
It's so cute to see the little like tiny 11-year-olds like walk in and they're like, I don't know how to do any of this. And it's fun. And we have other youth who are preparing to go on missions and to get this practice to be able to apply on their missions like Eric did. But we also get like teach the cute little 11-year-olds, and we get to help them light that fire and be excited about doing family history.
Yeah, and I love to get to practice for our missions and what to do to use family history as a finding tool and a way to help new members stay strong. So we role play a lot, take turns, door approaches. Everyone loves to talk about their family, it seems.
Yeah, really quick, I wanted to share a story. I was looking at my fan chart and I had everyone filled out except for one of my grandpas, and he was like on in my 8th generation or something. So pretty far out. And so I was looking for him. I didn't even know where to start. I don't remember who I came to. I think it was Angel that was helping me. And I went home and I had to go through like the records of, I think he was in England, and I had to go through like birth certificates and baptismal stuff. And I finally found him and I got to do his work in the temple. I got to baptize him. So I'll get baptized for him. But it was awesome.
Cool. Yes. So we need to close now, and we won't have a lot of time for questions. So we invite everybody to go to the chat room. We'll try to keep be in there, in and out all day long and through the weekend. We just want, maybe Annie, can you just summarize and share your feelings about family history in closing?
Love to. There is still so much we had actually hoped to talk about with you guys. We have had so much success in these activities that we've planned together, and we've connected to each other and to the other people in our ward and estate and leaders and elderly and kids. And it's just the most crucial thing to us. And I can't really imagine what our ward would feel like without our efforts as youth and family history consultants. And I think the overall theme of what we shared with you today is activities that we had planned. And most of these things happen already, like wards have Christmas parties, and wards have mutual, and wards have weekly church meetings. And so I think it's so important to find ways to incorporate little family history aspects into all of our ward activities that will allow for the spirit of Elijah and the spirit of the gathering to be a part of our ward, as that is one of the most important things we can be a part of in this day and age. And it can prepare missionaries, and it can connect families, and it can convert members and change hearts. And I just know that the efforts that we've made together as youth, and this isn't even all of us, it's been remarkable to see just how beautiful and important this has become in our ward. And I challenge all of you watching to take a hold of these ideas that we've shared and try and connect your ward through them, because it can't fail. People feel these things when you do these activities, and it's so special and so important. And we've all gained more of a testimony as a result of all of this. Yeah.
Thank you, Annie. So I think we're finished. There's a beautiful quote here, and I know that every single one of our youth consultants, and they're not even all here with us today, they know the value of their work, and they are anxiously engaged in it, and they are working miracles. And we leave this with you.
And just want to say to our youth, thank you so much. The quote says, don't underestimate the power of the youth. And we would like to say, look at these youth. They're amazing. They're capable and they love this work. And when they get engaged, it just moves it forward at such a pace from primary on up.
Astronomical.
Thanks to our youth. You're amazing. We love you.
Thank you all for being with us. Anything else, Daniel, before we close?
Yeah, just kind of reminding everyone or reiterating what you said. The chat on the session page on rootstech.org will be live throughout the conference, and these guys are going to be going in and out. And if you have any questions, just post them there. We're also going to share some of the questions that everyone shared here with them. Yeah, be sure to continue to check out all of the things that we have at rootstech.org. And the youth here mentioned the familysearch.org activity section, which has a lot of ideas where they got some of these ideas or inspiration to some of these ideas there. So thank you and have a great RootsTech, everyone. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.